The late afternoon sun baked the quiet street as Marcus Johnson rolled steadily along in his wheelchair, an Xbox balanced carefully on his lap. At 15 he was used to moving a little slower than the kids on bikes and skateboards, but today his heart was racing with excitement. He was almost at his friend Eric's house. Just a few more blocks and the video games could begin. But before he could even reach the corner, a sharp voice split the air. "Hey kid, stop right there." Marcus froze. "Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. Because here we tell real-life lessons through real and relatable stories." The tires of a patrol car screeched as it pulled to the curb. Officer Melanie Hayes, mid-30s, tall and severe with eyes that cut like glass, stepped out, one hand resting on her holster, the other swinging confidently at her side. She approached slowly, boots crunching against the asphalt, gaze fixed on the box in Marcus's lap. "What's that you've got there?" she demanded. Marcus adjusted the weight of the console nervously. It's my Xbox. My grandma gave it to me for Christmas." Hayes's lips twisted. "Your Xbox? Itchem. Got any proof of that?" Marcus shook his head. "No. I don't carry receipts with me." "ID?" she shot back. "I don't have one," Marcus admitted. His voice wavered, but he tried to hold steady. "I live just around the corner. I'm going to my friend's house." Hayes's eyes narrowed, her tone dripping with disbelief. "So you expect me to believe a kid like you, rolling around this neighborhood, with a brand new Xbox on his lap?" She circled him slowly, eyes raking over him, her skepticism thick in the air. Marcus clutched the console tighter. "I'm telling the truth. I didn't do anything wrong." Hayes stopped directly in front of him, lowering her face until her shadow fell across his. "Listen, smart guy. There's been a robbery reported in this area. And you? You match the description." Marcus's chest tightened. "That doesn't make sense. I just left my house. I didn't steal anything." Her voice sharpened like a blade. "Don't get clever with me. I know how kids like you behave. Always some excuse. Always some story. And don't think that chair is going to fool me either. For all I know, you're pretending." Marcus's eyes widened in shock. "Pretending? I can't even walk. Why would you say that?" Hayes straightened, hand drifting closer to her radio. "I'm giving you a chance here, kid. Hand over the Xbox and come with me to the station quietly, or this gets a whole lot harder." Marcus shook his head violently. "No, it's mine. I'm not going anywhere. I didn't do anything." Hayes exhaled sharply through her nose, frustration flashing across her face. She lifted her radio. "Dispatch, this is Officer Hayes. I've got a possible suspect resisting. Send me backup." The static crackled as she barked into it, but Marcus barely heard. His heart hammered in his chest, every breath tight with fear. Neighbors had begun peeking from their porches, phones in hand, watching the scene unfold. The second cruiser rolled to a stop, its tires crunching against the curb. A younger officer, Daniels, stepped out, adjusting his cap as he scanned the scene. "Everything all right here?" he asked, his tone calm but wary. Hayes waved him over, her hand still hovering near Marcus. "I've got our robbery suspect right here. Matches the description. Teen, black, expensive electronics in hand, no ID. And he's giving me attitude." Marcus's voice broke as he shook his head. "That's not true. I didn't steal anything. Please sir, I swear." Daniels crouched slightly to meet Marcus's eyes. His brow furrowed. "Hold on." The call said the suspect was on foot. About 5'8", gray hoodie heading north. "This kid's in a wheelchair. Doesn't line up." Hayes scoffed, crossing her arms. "You're green, Daniels. Don't let the chair fool you. I've seen kids fake worse to cover their tracks." She narrowed her gaze at Marcus. "He's hiding something. I can feel it." Marcus's chest rose and fell rapidly, panic bubbling in his throat. "Why won't you believe me? I'm not a criminal. I was on the phone with my friend just before you stopped me. He's waiting for me right now." Daniel straightened, glancing at Hayes. "Maybe we should call the friend. Or his parents. Could clear this up fast." Hayes's jaw tightened, her voice dropping low and sharp. "I don't need to call anyone. I know his type. No proof, too many excuses. You give them an inch, they take a mile." She leaned down, almost at eye level with Marcus, her voice cutting. "You don't belong here, kid. Not in this neighborhood. Not with that Xbox. And if you think I'm letting you roll off without answers, you're dead wrong. Marcus gripped the wheels of his chair so tight his knuckles turned white. Tears brimmed in his eyes, but his voice was steady, almost defiant. You're treating me like a suspect just because of how I look. Because I'm black. Danielle's lips pressed into a thin line. He knew the boy was right, but Hayes's glare burned into him like a warning not to intervene further. Then Hayes's radio crackled to life. Captain Porter en route. 82 minutes. Marcus's heart leapt. His father. Relief surged, but fear still tangled in his chest. He knew things could spiral in 2 minutes flat. Hayes's eyes flicked to the radio, then back to Marcus. She smirked coldly. Good. Maybe your little story will fall apart in front of someone who knows better. Marcus swallowed hard. His voice was quiet but full of pain. Or maybe it'll show the truth. Red and blue lights flashed against the row of houses as a black SUV screeched to the curb. The door swung open and Captain Porter stepped out, his uniform crisp, his presence commanding. His eyes locked instantly on Marcus, who sat trembling in his wheelchair, clutching the Xbox like it was the last thing keeping him grounded. Marcus. Porter's voice cut through the air, full of urgency and fear. He rushed to his son's side, kneeling beside him. Are you all right? Did they hurt you? Marcus's eyes filled with tears of relief. Dad. I didn't do anything. She thinks I stole it. Porter's jaw clenched as he turned his head toward Hayes. His gaze was ice. What exactly are you accusing my son of, Officer Hayes? Hayes stiffened but held her ground. Captain, with all due respect, I stopped him because he matched the description of a burglary suspect. No ID, carrying expensive electronics, acting evasive. It raised red flags. Porter's voice dropped, dangerous and controlled. The suspect was reported on foot. My son is in a wheelchair. Do you even hear yourself right now? Hayes hesitated, her lips parting, but Porter wasn't finished. He stood, towering over her. You saw a black teenager with an Xbox and decided that was enough to drag him off the street. You didn't care about the facts. You didn't care that his story made sense. You cared about how he looked. Daniel shifted uncomfortably, speaking up at last. Captain, she said he fit the description, but I checked the report. The details don't match. At all. Porter gave him a curt nod, then turned back to Hayes. Did you even bother to verify before harassing him? Hayes's face flushed, anger and shame twisting her features. I was doing my job. I wasn't about to let him slip away without questioning. Too many kids like him. Enough. Porter's voice cracked like a whip. Kids like him? That's the problem, Officer Hayes. You didn't see my son. You saw a stereotype. And you treated him like a criminal before you even spoke a word to him. Marcus gripped his father's sleeve, his voice trembling. She said, maybe I was even pretending. Pretending about the chair. The words hit Porter like a knife. He turned slowly toward Hayes, his expression unreadable now, his voice low but lethal. You accused a disabled child of faking his disability to cover a crime? Do you have any idea how outrageous that sounds? Silence hung thick in the air. A few neighbors had gathered at a distance, phones raised, recording every second. Hayes shifted her weight, searching for an excuse, but none came. Porter stepped closer, his presence unyielding. Take off your badge, Hayes. You've humiliated this department, and worse, you've humiliated yourself. You don't deserve to wear that uniform. Her eyes widened. Captain, please, Badge. Now. Hands shaking, Hayes unclipped the shield from her chest and dropped it into Porter's palm. He didn't look at her again. Instead, he crouched once more beside Marcus, resting a steadying hand on his son's shoulder. It's over, son. You're safe. I'm here. Marcus's tears spilled freely now, a mixture of fear, relief, and exhaustion. I just wanted to go play Xbox with my friend, Dad. Porter's voice softened, breaking under the weight of his own emotion. And that's exactly what you're going to do. He lifted his son gently from the chair into the back seat of his SUV, folding the wheelchair and tucking it inside. Daniel stepped forward, his voice earnest. For what it's worth, Marcus. I believe you. And I'm sorry you had to go through this. Marcus nodded faintly, whispering, thank you. As Porter shut the door, he turned once more to Hayes, who stood frozen on the curb. His voice carried the finality of a gavel strike. Consider this your walk of shame. You're done here. The SUV pulled away, taillights glowing red against the darkening street. Inside, Marcus leaned his head against the window, exhausted but finally safe. His father drove in silence, one hand gripping the wheel, the other reaching back to squeeze his son's shoulder. A promise, unspoken but unbreakable, that he would never face something like this alone again. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more inspiring life lessons.